Welcome back to Inspire Great Health. I have our CEO and President, Tim Thornell, with me here today. How are you today, Tim?
Doing great, thanks.
Well, thank you for joining me today, especially during the holiday season. I'm sure you're busy.
Oh, well, we all are, but
Yes.
happy to take time for this. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I appreciate it. Love having you on. So 2025 was a big year for Cheyenne Regional. Can you tell me about some of our accomplishments this year?
Yeah. So 2025 was, a big year, an important year for us. And as always, so much happening in healthcare and so much happening at Cheyenne Regional, right? And I'd like to start off with, what were we looking at and doing from a quality perspective, right? How did we, um, make healthcare better for our community? And a lot of that we just tie back to some of our quality indicators and organizations that help, define, are we providing great care to our community? So we have for a while now been a stroke accredited hospital, right? We're sort of a primary stroke center and have for a while, and that's through the Joint Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Systems. But we went through our reaccreditation process. So as you get these accreditations, you got to keep them up. It's really only good for 2 years, right? Because things change, they evolve, and they expect, great hospitals to keep up to speed and up to pace with anything that changes. So every 2 years we get reaccredited. So this year we did get reaccredited for our primary stroke certification through Joint Commission, right, which is great. And, we always do well during our surveys, but this year in particular we did, exceptionally well during that survey. So really just hats off. I know. Just hats off to our staff. And all these things take a team, right? There is no one person that makes this happen. There's always a team behind all this, from physicians to nurses to our staff and all the support that goes into it. So really proud for all that they've done there. And then to follow up on that, we have another certification through the Joint Commission on the treatment of patients with sepsis, right? And so we're the first, and we're still the only hospital in Wyoming to be Joint Commission accredited for the treatment of sepsis with our patients and how well we do in that. And this is our first year getting reaccredited. So it was just 2 years ago we got that certification for the first time. So this is our first recertification. Are we still meeting, exceeding expectations? And happily we get to say yes, we are. So doing a tremendous job in that realm as well. And it's so important, right? So as you look at what things, in particular really matter, because there's accreditations for everything we do, right? So you have to pick and choose. You can't do everything. So what's really important? And again, we have a lot of people present with stroke, so it's important. We have a lot of people present with chest pain, so it's important. And still, one of the leading causes of death in hospitals all across the country is sepsis. It's a deadly infection, right? And severe enough, usually when you have sepsis, you need to be in the hospital. But even at that, it's still really, really challenging to treat well all the time. So we just think, look, given that, it's important for us to do the best that we can in treating patients with sepsis. And we know we get transfers from other hospitals, for that condition as well. So just, again, a great testament to the commitment that our entire organization has, from our physicians to our nurses to all of our support staff. It takes everyone, really working towards making things better to make it happen. So again, we just get to know and have comfort and confidence that, we're doing a great job and doing better than most in taking care of our patients, in this case with sepsis. So really great accomplishments, that we got to achieve this year. And then you look at a third one in there, and that is we got to renew our magnet status, right? So magnet status, again, for those that may not be familiar with it, kind of the highest accolade you can get in the nursing world, right? And so again, national organization, less than 10% of the hospitals in the country are magnet hospitals, qualify for it. Very difficult. Again, we're the first and we're the only hospital in Wyoming to be a magnet hospital. And again, our reaccreditation process, the first time going through that. There, I think it's for 4 years that we get this accreditation, right? So tons of work to get us there and an equal amount of work to keep us there. So again, just hats off to our entire staff. And again, this starts with nursing. It's the core of it, but it's not the only piece. Everything that surrounds it, that we take care of patients, is involved and measured in this. So it really is a good complement to our entire organization that we get to have that magnet status. And it really is kind of, as it says, magnet, it attracts people, right? Nurses want to work at hospitals that have magnet status because they know that they're doing, you know, um, best practices, right? Clinical-based and evidence-based work. So it's usually much more enjoyable environment to work in when you have that magnet status. It's usually a symbol of a good place to work. And certainly I'm biased. I think for
Yeah.
us, it is definitely a
Same.
symbol of a great place to work, here at Cheyenne Regional. So a lot of great things happening just in that realm. And then one other organization that we look to, there's lots of organizations out there that like to rate and grade hospitals, but another one that we look to is Health Grades, right? And Health Grades, again, every October comes out with their list of hospitals that they applaud for doing great work. And we got a lot of the same accolades that we got in years past, which is great. And I have to look at my cheat sheet for a couple of those because we have so many. We have like 15
Yes.
different awards from that. But really kind of nice to hear on the cardiac side, right? 5-star recipient for treatment of heart attack 8 years in a row. 5-star recipient for treatment of heart failure 12 years in a row. And again, the list goes on for things that we've been doing really well on for quite some time. And great to do that and still keeping up to pace with those important things. But it's so fun for this year. And as they announced it in October 2025, they really label it 2026 awards.
Sure.
Right, but we got a handful of things that were brand new. So in addition to keeping up the great work that we've always been doing, we've got to add some new things that this year to our list of high accomplishments. So for the first time, 5-star recipient for hip fracture treatment, 5-star recipient for treatment of pneumonia, 5-star recipient for treatment of gallbladder removal surgery in 2026, and then 5-star treatment for pulmonary embolism and for treatment of diabetic hospitalizations. So how great is it to be able to say, look, we continue to do great work on some of these core things in cardiac care and other things, but then we get to say we're not just stopping there, we're adding some new accolades, some new best practices to our arsenal of being able to take great care of patients. So from that qualities perspective, it's been a good year. It's been an affirming year that we continue to do great work, and it's been a rewarding year in that we are accomplishing new things as well.
So you kind of already touched on this about the magnet certification. What do these certifications and accolades mean for our community and our patients as well as our staff?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fun to have them, right? You get a little plaque or a certificate to hang out somewhere, and that's fine. But that is not the reason we do them. That's not the reason anyone should do them, right? You should really do them because you want to provide better care and ultimately the best possible care for your patients. And I can say after being in healthcare for over 20 years, 25 years, and going through different certification processes at different hospitals and being able to watch it, I can really say, look, it is a commitment to doing the right thing, right? Because if you're not committed to doing the right thing, it's really hard to get these certifications, right? Because you're not on the same page. You're not doing the best practices. It's hit or miss. You do great sometimes and not as great other times. So this really speaks to commitment and to consistency in what we're doing. And I can say I've watched over the years, they really do make a difference. I really genuinely believe we get to provide better care because of these, right? And again, it's so important to say that we don't just do them just because we want a plaque to hang on the wall. We want to say, oh, we're better than someone else. And that's not what it's about at all. It's really about saying, how do we provide the best possible care, for our patients, and what's going to help us strive to make ourselves better. And again, if you choose the right certifications that match the needs of your patient population, then you get to know that you're truly, providing better care for your patients.
And it earns that trust from the community as well that we've earned these certifications and accolades.
Yeah,
Right?
it does. And again, communities like it, but really I'd have to say, I don't think it's very often that patients are saying, where do I need to go get care? I'm having a stroke. Let me look up which
Right.
hospital's primary
Yes.
stroke certified. You don't have time for that, nor do you have presence of mind to think to do that. So it's not really driving patient care in that way. So they like it, but it's usually after the fact.
Yeah.
Right. It's usually, so again, our primary stroke certification, it's usually, you come to our hospital, you see the great care, you get better, and then afterwards you realize, oh, they're primary stroke certified. I guess that's why I got really good care there.
Right.
And then they kind of talk about it, kind of afterwards and see that benefit. But the plaque doesn't draw them here. It doesn't really bring anybody here. And really they get to experience it and firsthand when they feel that, hey, it was good care, and I can tell that it was great, and that's what really patients respond to, not the plaque or the certificate on the wall. Again, afterwards, they might appreciate it more because they've had experience with it, got to see firsthand, yes, I really did receive good care. People who took care of me were very compassionate, highly competent, and got me through it. So again, really rewarding to see the true benefits of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Of CRMC's 2025 accomplishments, what are you most excited about or most passionate about?
Yeah. Well, there's so much. I mean, it's hard to say most be passionate about because there's lots of different things that we do, so many. So again, the quality stuff so important that we just talked about. But all our recruitment efforts, right? So bringing new talent into our organization, right? So we did a great job this year reducing our turnover. So our good staff are staying, right? So that's great. We're doing a good job recruiting more nurses, more therapists here, right? So doing a good job there. We've partnered with and are helping, our local junior college, LCCC, Laramie County Community College, with some of their programs, both in nursing, but help them launch a program a couple of years ago for respiratory therapy. And it's actually this next year we get to see them graduate.
Oh, that's
Right.
exciting.
And then we get to hopefully hire them. Right. So just working with that recruitment retention piece in all different facets. But not least of which is, being able to recruit some great new physicians to our community. So this year we got to welcome Dr. Lyons, our cardiovascular surgeon, right, and doing great things. We're providing better care today because he's here, right? We got to hire 2 new general cardiologists, right? And they're from the region, right? They came to us from northern Colorado, and so they're familiar with the area, and some of their patients even followed them up here, and they've fit in so beautifully. Dr. Edwards and Dr. Nirakonda, both doing amazing work. Just thrilled to have them. And then just recently, in the past couple of months, we got to hire 4 new primary care doctors, right, including a outpatient internal medicine doctor, Dr. Holdaway. So great to have him here, right? Not a lot of internal medicine doctors are doing just strictly outpatient only work anymore. They're subspecializing, working in the hospital environment. So we're thrilled to have him here and join us on the outpatient side. And then 3 of our new primary care providers, 1 family practice, 2 pediatricians, but all 3 of them went through the WWAMI program. So if you're not familiar with the WWAMI program, it's an acronym, right? Because we're in healthcare, we love acronyms, right? So, but Washington for Washington State, Wyoming, Alaska, Montana, Idaho. Of all those states, Washington's the only one that has a medical school, right? And so they allocate for us in Wyoming 20 students a year to go through that program. And then the whole goal is them to come back to Wyoming when they're done, not just with medical school, but residency training, which can take them anywhere. And then come back to the state, and the state, will help, defray the cost of their medical school costs, right? So there's an incentive to come back to Wyoming. And they do a great job identifying people who want to come back anyway. Right. So we're able to hire, 3. So 1 family practice, Dr. Brackett, thrilled to have him come back home to Wyoming. Dr. Shum, and she's a pediatrician working in our outpatient arena. Thrilled to have her come back home to Cheyenne. And then Dr. Grube, also a pediatrician, and come back home to Wyoming. He wasn't from Cheyenne, but chose to come here, and thrilled to have him as well. So what a good complement of physicians to have come here on the primary care front, which is where it all starts, right? Being able to see patients on the primary care front, the outpatient arena, and it's just so great to have them really, truly want to be here and be a part of our community and our medical staff. So from that vantage point, I think we've done, a pretty good job this year of attracting some fantastic talent, again, from nursing to therapists to technicians to our medical staff.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives a whole new meaning to our family caring for your family, right? Because it's, Wyoming is one big family. And
Yeah, it really is. It really does. And it's so fun to see them come back here because they just so genuinely want to be here.
Absolutely.
And fit into our communities, so seamlessly.
Yeah. So those are all the questions I have regarding Cheyenne Regional. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Good. Well, I mean, again, there's so much good stuff going on. I think, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk for just a moment about, look, great quality, great people working here. And kind of the third component to this is got to have great equipment to make these things happen, right? So we're very fortunate that, this year alone, we got to open up brand new space for our primary care doctors, right? So we opened up in our plaza off 20th Street, new space for them to practice in. So it's great, brand new, great place to be, great place for patients to go. So thrilled to be able to reinvest into facilities that way. We, on the hospital side, we opened up a new IR room, interventional radiology room, so down in our radiology area. And so our interventional radiologists use that space, that suite, but also our pain management doctors use that suite, and our vascular surgeons use that suite as well. So it really is highly utilized for a variety of services, right? And again, to have the latest and greatest, state-of-the-art interventional radiology room, right? It really is fantastic. So as we come in and get to redo those rooms, it takes a while to get them, ready, to get them done. They're out of commission for, several months while we get them, up to speed. But we really do get to tout and say, that's the best there is for the moment. It's technology, so it's always changing.
Sure.
Right? So maybe 9 months from now, it'll maybe something a little bit better. But for the moment, it's really the latest and greatest. And the equipment vendors that we work with and partner with, frequently we're on their face page for whether it's their internet site or for Facebook, touting, you want the latest and greatest, look at Cheyenne Regional. They're doing it.
Yeah.
Right, so great to be able to do that. So we've done that for interventional radiology. We've done that recently for our hybrid OR. We've done that for one of our cath labs. Right, so just so great to be able to do those things and have that. And then just equipment side, we got 3 new CT scanners this year. One specifically dedicated for our oncology center, right, for our cancer center. So they have a dedicated CT scanner over there. But then for the main hospital, 2 brand new CT scanners. Again, state-of-the-art, latest and greatest. We made their front page and home page for the vendor of choice that we selected. And they're, again, touting as this is, if you want the best, look to Cheyenne Regional, because for the moment, they have it. So how wonderful is to be able to say that we get to offer that for our community, right? So when you really, I think, couple all those things together, look, we have great equipment, which doesn't do any good if you don't have great and talented staff, which we do, right? And at the end of the day, it's all measured by, did you provide great care? And we did. So it really does come together kind of as a trifecta, if you will, to say we've done a good job in 2025, making our community better, safer, healthier.
And so what's on the horizon for 2026? Any other big accomplishments that we have coming up?
Yeah, well, yes, there's always things to look forward to, right? So again, we'll go through some of our other accreditation processes. So I think next year we'll probably be looking at our primary heart attack center accreditation, of our whole hospital accreditation coming up next year as well. So things on that front. Lots more of things on the recruitment front. So I'll be excited this time next year to talk about what we've done in 2026 on the recruitment front. So as we even just peer into the future a little bit, I can tell you it'll be an exciting year to bring in some more fantastic physicians and do an even better job recruiting and retaining our frontline staff. So excited about that. And then we already have underway on the facility side work being done in our behavioral health arena, right? So refreshing and updating portions of our inpatient behavioral health, but truly totally remodeling our outpatient behavioral health component of things. So mid-year, that'll open up. So again, great just to be able to say that in all facets of healthcare, in this instance, behavioral health, we're really investing in all that we do, not just certain small segments, but really as we go through the years, we're investing in just about every segment of healthcare in which we function and operate. So it's a good feeling to be able to say we're helping the community truly as a whole.
Absolutely. It's such a great feeling.
Yeah.
Yes. So now on to the fun questions.
All right.
Not that these haven't been fun and amazing questions, but I like to do rapid fire questions with some of my guests. So first ones first. Do you prefer cake or pie?
Ooh, that's tough. I like them both, but cake.
Yeah. In marketing, we have a cake click and a pie click. So I had to ask that question.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's no tiebreaker here. And what is your favorite holiday tradition?
Oh, our favorite holiday tradition. Yeah, so for our family, I think really putting up our Christmas tree, right? It's a lot of fun. And so over the years, we have 3 kids, and now they're a little bit older. So we've just amassed a lot of different ornaments.
Mhm.
And we really try and find the time when everyone's home and it takes all day,
Mhm.
to put up our Christmas tree. And you really, it's not just hanging them up on the tree as quickly as you can. It's really pulling them out, looking at them, striking a memory. And every one of our kids has, some favorite ornaments that they want to hang up themselves. And for us, for my wife and me, just looking at them and being nostalgic about it. And, hey, I remember when we got this and the meaning behind it. So really a fun time to be able to do that.
Yeah. And who's your favorite kid? No, I'm kidding. Um,
Love them all
love,
equally.
of course, of course. Tying back into the Christmas tree, do you prefer artificial or do you prefer a natural tree?
Oh, yes. So I do prefer, a real tree. The smell is amazing.
Absolutely.
Having said that, our tree is artificial, right? There's just an ease about it.
So
And
much easier.
a little more convenient and this anymore as life has just gotten so busy. And again, as we try to find that weekend and that time, that day to put up our tree, sometimes it just sneaks up on you. And if you have to factor in going out and finding the tree and chopping it down, which we've done in the past too, which is a lot of
It is a
fun all
lot of
by
fun.
itself. But the smell's amazing. But I have to say we've kind of acquiesced to the more convenient of the artificial tree at this point.
Fair enough. Well, those are all the questions I have for you today, Tim. Thank you so much for joining me.
Great,
And
thank you.
I can't wait till 2026.
I know it'll be a great year as well. So,
Yes, it will.
yeah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and yep, off to the starting blocks to start a whole new year.
Yes, yes, same to you, all
Yep.
of that. Yes,
Thank
can't
you.
wait. And thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next year.